What's up guys, Wolf here. Welcome to another Division 2 video. In today's video, I want to talk about assault rifles and which one is the best for group play and solo play. So if you do enjoy this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also follow me on X and Twitch. I post there quite often on X, things I don't post on YouTube. So make sure you go follow me there. On Twitch as well, I will be streaming quite a lot this week and I have been streaming plenty lately. Drops are still on, so make sure you check that out. So before we get into this video, I want to kind of mention something to you guys. If you don't have some of the weapons that you can't obtain right now, I will give you a broad overview of the guns. So when I refer to the other high-end options, I'm going to be talking about FAMAS, Police M4, FAL, SOCOM MK16. Those guns are really powerful and I recommend them, especially the higher RPM ones if you're using Striker. So that's what I'll say. That's what I'm meaning when I say other options, high-end options that are just available in the game. So it's also situational. It depends on you as a player. Well, if I tell you to use a gun, you need to decide, well, I could use something else that gives me more accuracy because I can't really aim as well. So that one could be better than one that actually does more damage. So just keep that in mind. These are just my opinions and my options. I have done a lot of testing on paper. I have done some calculations on sustain, burst, all of that. So I will be mentioning that in the video, but I won't be showcasing tables for you because that doesn't really matter. It's all about in practice and for you to adapt to suit how you want to play and what builds you're using and in what situation you are in PvE. Also maybe in PvP, because I will be giving a PvP option here. Let's take a look at the new items we've received. And let me talk about the guns I'm going to be mentioning. So the high-end options, once again, like I said, Police M4, FAMAS, P416, FAL, MK16, those are the ARs that I mentioned when I say other options with a certain talent. You can use those. You don't have to have some of these guns, but there are just metas that are unobtainable right now. Let's talk about the guns I'm going to be mentioning. The Lexington, you can't get it. The devs did hint we may be getting it soon. The Lexington is just too good. It's very powerful. I use the Police M4 in its place, but it's up to you what to go for because you can put a linked laser pointer for flatline on that, but flatline's kind of dead right now. So the Lexington, hopefully we get it soon. The Caretaker is a very good option because this comes with Perfect Killer and you guys can get it right now in the game. I've got like 3 Caretakers. So how do you get it? It's quite simple. You want to go and check out your projects. You don't have to buy anything to get this. It should be here, even though it says Game Pass. You don't need any kind of pass. Get exotic components, get caches that give you blueprints that you could only find previously in Descent, and you get the Caretaker. Just make sure you farm this. You do it by doing Shepherd ranks. Go to Lincoln with a friend, ask your friend to matchmake, then or call for backup, sorry. So he mustn't matchmake. He starts the mission, he calls for backup right here. Then as he does that, you go to the same area where he is in and you click random call for backup. You should join him and then you get a Shepherd rank. So once you get the level up, just switch out and rinse and repeat. Or if you don't have any friend, just click this button here and you should be able to call for backup. Lots of people are doing it, so be careful. It might be quite tricky. Some of the other guns that I'm going to be talking about that you can get, St. Elmo's Engine just targets loot ARs. Hopefully you guys have got it by now. That's a very good all-rounder. Then the Huntsman from getting all the hunters. I made a video about this. Link will be in the description. You open the box in Brooklyn in the settlement and then you get this gun. You can also re-get it from Cassie Mendoza once you've initially unlocked it. Then once you find the snitch, go to Cassie and you'll be able to buy some of these. One thing I will say is the Huntsman received quite a buff in this update compared to what it was like in the PTS. And the Huntsman is really keeping up with some of the best ARs in the game. So I'm excited to test it in PvP. The only problem is when you're playing in PvE, you're not going to have the buff as often as other weapons and other weapon talents. So it's something to look out for though. The Lud with Perfect Streamline, very good new talent. That's obtainable from the seasonal pass, just like the SMG version. And so those are going to be the new ones that we have received and some of the ones I've mentioned here. So let's kind of talk about which one is going to be best solo. Now, the current global modifiers are too strong because of crit damage. Crit damage is the king right now. So it's pretty obvious what I'm going to be talking about, but not even just in global modifiers. I've disabled them now for testing, but the killer talent is going to be the best for playing solo. It's just that simple. It's so powerful. You get so much more damage than Flatline. There's not even a point in me comparing a talent here and showcasing it to you guys. Killer is the best. Now, if you don't have the Lexington, no problem. You get the Caretaker and use this. It's very good. The Caretaker has slightly less DPS than the Lexington, but it's still really good. or you can use one of the other AR variants with Killer. Killer is very powerful, and you guys will be able to do huge amounts of damage playing solo. It's that simple. The Huntsman, I want to mention that now, is very good playing solo or in a group, but this for me is better in PvP and for stacked reload speed on it to make use of the talent a bit better, because this comes with an LMG specific talent. So get some reload speed, maybe even mag size, and then you can make use of this. It's really good in PvP because you can abuse the talent. I will be posting a PvP build soon as well, so keep that in mind. But I think this gun is just too good. The Caretaker, guys, if you don't have the Lexington or don't want to use an AR variant I mentioned in the video, with Killer, you can use the Caretaker. It is actually very good. It's the better version of a G36. The only difference is the accuracy. It's not a laser beam compared to the Lexington, but you can still do quite a reasonable amount of damage. And the Lexington only slightly beats it because that's a big jump, 90% as opposed to 70. So make sure you guys jump on that. Let's talk about playing in a group now. And I'm gonna be honest, in a group, there is only one talent right now that is just beating everything else, and that is going to be the Lexington. Again, I know you can use whatever other variation I recommended, any other AR, as long as you roll Streamline. This is absolutely crazy. You get so much damage. It used to be 80, it's 40, still loads of damage. It is by far the best in a group. You can do so much damage. If you pull your shield out, it doesn't work while you're holding a shield out. So you want skills that don't have long cooldowns. Don't use any skills, just shoot enemies. Very powerful. And I would like to mention as well, on the seasonal track, because you can get the LUD from the seasonal track, this is very powerful. It comes with perfect Streamline. The only difference is a couple percent, which doesn't seem like much, but it can be a decent amount. This gun is actually really good from range, but the Lexington will be better, but the LUD is a very viable option. If you guys want to use the named version, this can hit very hard. The problem is if you're using Striker, which most of you probably are, the RPM is too low. That's something we've got to mention. So if I was going to choose a gun, I would go for Police M4 or for FAMAS. But that's what I would go for in a Striker situation. So it depends on you. But this talent is just absolutely superior. But here's the thing. Killer, you can get over 100,000 damage a crit more because of just a pure crit damage. So if you're playing in a group and you can get kills, then Killer will be by far the best. But the problem is Killer is more situational. So that's why this overall, you will do more damage, especially if you've got good players in your team, because then they'll take the kills. You won't get Killer to proc. This will be active pretty much all the time, as long as you don't use a skill. So it's very good. Now, I want to also mention that if you guys don't want to faff around with all these different guns, the St. Elmo's is still one of the best guns in the game. And the damage is actually quite low. It just depends on you, because with the St. Elmo's engine, we get lots of accuracy, great mag size, and it's got the shock CC. You can shock enemies. So in a lot of situations, you might be better off using St. Elmo's with your group and playing solo. So that's just on you and how you want to be playing. One thing I will say as well is in PvP, the capacitor is still broken because it's got damage to armor, which is ridiculous because assault rifles all have health damage as a second core attribute. So capacitor is crazy. It's very good, even in PvE, but for DPS, that's not what we're going to be talking about today. So I would recommend you guys try the Huntsman in PvP. Use the Lexington with Killer or Caretaker as solo, and Lexington or any mentioned high-end ARs with Streamline in a group. And that's what I would go for. Those combinations, very powerful, and you won't go wrong with that. So let's quickly take a look. So I want to showcase the TTK is still going. Let's get rid of this. I've just put a simple glass cannon build on as well. So I've kind of got the Streamline with the Killer. Let's take a look at the difference. So when I'm critting here, it's 737. And then when I pull out my shield, as you can see, it's gone down. Activate it again, back to 737. With Killer, 687. But watch when I get a kill. It's procced. Way more damage. Over 100k more damage. 870. So if you can get the kills, the Killer talent is so unbelievably powerful. But this is just going to be a quick little comparison. It's not the best. Like I said, I've told you guys the maths, the numbers. This is just exactly what we want here. Is a quick little showcase. So the TTK, this is the G36. Still quite good. You can still hit some headshots there. Let's do a bit of a TTK test. Lexington, let's go. It's not a perfect test. I might miss shots or move incorrectly. but we'll kind of get an idea. Sometimes the reloading isn't good. So 10.6, let's try again. You know what I'm going to do is let's reset it, because I started with killer activated. So we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that the talent's not activated. It does last quite long. $7.9. So that's really good. $8.3. So it's very close. Like I mentioned, when you do the calculations, the Caretaker just comes behind the Lexington. But like I said, it depends on you as a player. What you could even do is, if you guys don't have 2 Lexingtons, instead of continuously re-rolling, if you got 1 Lexington, use the Caretaker for solo and then roll Streamline on the Lexington. That's probably the best way to do it. So, or if you can't get any of these, use the mentioned ARs I talked about, or even just St. Elmo's Engine. That's a very good option. So hopefully this video did give you guys a bit of insight, and I kind of spoke about what I'm using. I mean, this is my new best DPS build. So let me know what you're going to be using, what you prefer, what testing you've been doing. As you can see, Lexington with Streamline, just the best for group. For solo, I will be using the Lexington with Killer. So hopefully you guys leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.